Hello students, this video lecture is on the subject Information Theory and Coding, and in this lecture class we'll define the definition of channel, the representation of channel using the conditional probability matrix, and we'll derive a joint probability matrix. After that we are going to study few properties of joint probability matrix. Information channels are basically the physical transmission medium over which the information is transmitted from the transmitter to the receiver. There are two types of channel, continuous channel and discrete channel. In continuous channel, the input to the channel is an analog electrical waveform and it is usually referred as modulation channel. Example for continuous channel is a telephone system or a high frequency radio system. For discrete channel, the input to the channel is a sequence of symbols and it is usually referred to as data communication channel or discrete communication channel. The example for discrete channel is computer to computer link. Generally, channels are noisy in the sense they affect the signals being transmitted through them by several disturbances. The channel basically acts as a filter to the incoming signals due to the change of its characteristics of the channel in various ways. That is, the channel corrupts the signal due to its non-linear behavior and acts as if it is adding or multiplying the signal with random noise. These are called the channel's errors, which may occur randomly or in burst. Finally, the channel error will limit the maximum rate at which the data can be transmitted over the channel. So these errors introduced in the channel is going to put a limit for the data rate at which it is going to be transmitted over the channel. A practical communication system consists of three parts, which is transmitter from the points 1 to 3 in the block diagram will be called as the transmitter. Then from this point 3 till point 5 is called as the channel, and from this point till the point 7 in the block diagram is called as the receiver. So a communication system has three parts. One is transmitter, channel and the receiver. So transmitter consists of an encoder and a modulator, while the demodulator and channel decoder is presented as the receiver. Now between the points 2 and 6 in the above diagram, we have a discrete channel referred to as a coding channel, which accepts a sequence of symbols at its input and produces a sequence of symbols at its output. The communication channels between the point 3 and 5 in the diagram provides the electrical connection between the transmitter and the receiver. The input and output are analog electrical waveform. This portion of the channel is often referred to as a continuous channel or modulation channel. Example, as told earlier, is a telephone system or high frequency radio system. Between the points 1 and 7 in the diagram, we have a binary data being presented at the input and a binary data back at the output. Hence, the channel is called as data communication channel or discrete channel. Now, as told earlier, in the channel, there are various kinds of disturbances. These disturbances may be due to the amplitude and frequency response variation of the channel within its passband, or it might be due to the variation of channel characteristics and also due to the non-linearities in the channel. In addition, the channel also corrupts the signal due to various types of additive and multiplicative noise. All these disturbances introduce an error in the data transmission and hence puts a limit to the maximum rate at which the data can be transmitted over the channel. So an important characteristics of data communication system is the channel capacity. So this channel capacity will represent the maximum rate at which the data is transferred across the channel with an arbitrarily small probability of errors. A discrete communication channel. So if you consider a channel or any type of channel, it can be a continuous channel or discrete channel. It is going to have a set of alphabets A with R symbols as an input to the channel and a set of alphabet B with S symbols. So basically when we tell the channel, it is going to have an alphabet A as an input and an alphabet B as an output with R as an input symbols and S as an output symbols. Now in this channel case or any type of channel, basically what we have is the noise introduced in this particular channel which is analog in nature. Hence this value of input R will never be equal to the output symbol S, and this inequality is due to the noise present in the channel. A channel is represented by the input and output symbols. Let the input alphabet A is equal to A1, A2 up till AR consisting of R symbols. Let B be the output symbols. B is equal to B1, B2 up till BS consisting of S symbols. Then a set of conditional probabilities P of Bj by Ai with I is equal to 1, 2, 3 up till R and J is equal to 1, 2, 3 up till S. Then the channel is represented by this particular equation where we have A is equal to A1, A2, A3 up till AR. So this set of inputs with R symbols here, and you have B is equal to B1, B2, B3 output symbols with S symbols. Now this P of Bj by Ai is called as the conditional probabilities. So when we are going to represent a channel, we are going to have three parts. One is a set of input values with R symbols, a set of output symbols with S symbols, and a conditional probability value which is P of Bj by Ai. In the above representation of channel, there are R cross S number of conditional probabilities. So it can be represented in a matrix form where all the input symbols are represented in row wise and all the output symbols are represented in column wise. Such a matrix is called as channel matrix or noise matrix. It is given below. So P of B by A is given by the values where you have A1, A2, AR as the set of input values. Okay, so it is going to be represented A1, A2, A3 up till AR row wise, B1, B2, B3 up till BS which is column wise, and this P of BI by A1, P of B2 by A1 and P of BS by A1 are nothing but the conditional probabilities. So as told earlier, we are going to have three parts. One is set of input values in row wise, set of output values which is in column wise, and the conditional probability values which is put in the matrix form. But P of Ai comma Bj is the intersection of Ai and Bj, so which we can write it as P of Bj by Ai into P of Ai or P of Ai by Bj into P of Bj. Let us take that as equation number 2. Now we'll substitute the equation 2 in 1. Hence we get equation number 3, which is P of A comma B equal to A1, A2, A3. This is input. B1, B2, B3. This is output. And we are going to get some values here, which is represented as P of A1 comma B1, A1 comma B2, A1 comma Bs, which is nothing but P of Bj by Ai into P of A1 for this element. Here it is P of B2 by A1 into P of A1. That is, we are going to multiply the rows with the respective input probabilities, and we are going to get this value as P of A1 comma B1. The probability matrix, or this particular P of A comma B, in which the elements are nothing but the joint probability matrix between your input and output symbols, is called as the joint probability matrix, which is popularly known as JPM, denoted by P of AI, Bj or P of A, B. We know that summation of all the transitional probabilities along the row is equal to 1. So we can write P of B1 by A1 plus P of B2 by A1 plus P of Bs by A1 equal to 1. Let us take that as equation number 4. This is applicable to other rows also. Hence, we can write the summation of j is equal to 1 to s. P of Bj by Ai will be equal to 1. For the fixed input Bj, the output can be for any value of B1, B2 up till Bs. The summation of all these probability value is equal to 1. Hence, from probability theory, we know that P of A comma B is equal to P of B by A into P of A. So, P of A comma B is the joint probability of A and B. Here, if A is equal to Ai and B is equal to Bj, then we can write P of Ai comma Bj is equal to P of Bj by Ai into P of Ai. Properties of joint probability matrix are as follows. First property, by adding the elements of joint probability matrix column wise, we can obtain the probability of output symbols, that is, summation of I is equal to 1 to r P of Ai comma Bj will be equal to P of Bj. Now let us try to prove this particular statement. So P of B by A, that is conditional probability matrix, we can write it as A1, A2 up till AR along the column B1, B2 up till BS, and inside this we are going to write the conditional probabilities, that is P of B1 by A1, P of B2 by A1, so on up till P of Bs by A1. This is P of B1 by A2, P of B2 by A2, so on up till P of Bs by A2. Similarly, we can continue, and this will be P of B1 by AR, P of B2 by AR, so on up till P of Bs by AR. Let us take this as equation number 1. We'll try to multiply this equation with P of AIs in each row. So after multiplication, what we are going to get is P of B by A into P of A, which is equal to, we are going to get the matrix as P of B1 by A1 into P of A1, P of B2 by A1 into P of A1, so on up till P of Bs by A1 into P of A1. Here we are going to get P of B1 by A2 into P of A2, P of B2 by A2 into P of A2, so on up till P of BS by A2 into P of A2. This continues till P of B1 by AR into P of AR, P of B2 by AR into P of AR, so on up till P of BS by AR into P of AR. Let us take this as equation number 2. Now, by knowing the conditional probability P of Bj by Ai, conditional probability, by knowing the input probability P of Ai, we can find P of Bj, that is output probability, by using the theorem of total probability, okay, for which we can write the equations as P of B1 will be equal to P of B1 by A1 into P of A1 plus P of B1 by A2 into P of A2, so on up till P of B1 by AR into P of AR. Similarly, we can write P of B2 equal to P of B2 by A1 into P of A1 plus P of B2 by A2 into P of A2 plus so on up till P of B2 by AR into P of AR. Hence, till we can write it over all the probability P of BS will be equal to P of BS by A1 into P of A1 plus P of BS by A2 into P of A2 plus so on up till P of BS by AR into P of AR. Let us consider this as equation number 3. Now we know that we can write, we know that P of Bj by Ai is into P of Ai is nothing but P of Ai comma Bj, which is nothing but the joint probability element. So if you try to compare that particular value, we can write P of B1 is equal to P of A1 comma B1 plus P of A2 comma B1 and so on up till P of AR comma B1, and we can write P of B2 equal to P of A1 comma B2 plus P of A2 comma B2 plus so on up till P of AR comma B2. Hence we can write the last element value P of BR equal to P of BS equal to P of A1 comma BS plus P of A2 comma BS plus so on up till P of AR comma BS. So this element is nothing but the column elements of your joint probability matrix. All these elements are columns of joint probability matrix. Hence, we can write summation I is equal to 1 to R P of AI, Bj is nothing but the output probability matrix P of Pj. So hence proved. Second property, by adding the elements of joint probability matrix row wise, we can obtain the probability of input symbols, that is summation of I is equal to 1 to S P of AI, Bj will be equal to P of AI. Now by using the theorem of total probability for input symbols, we have the first symbol value which is given as P of A1 will be equal to P of A1 by B1 into P of B1 plus P of A1 by B2 into P of B2 plus so on up till P of A1 by Bs into P of Bs. Similarly, we can write P of A2 equal to P of A2 by B1 into P of B1 plus P of A2 by B2 into P of B2 plus so on up till P of A2 by Bs into P of Bs. Hence, we can write it for all the values of input symbols up till P of AR equal to P of AR by B1 into P of B1 plus P of AR by B2 into P of B2 plus so on up till P of AR by Bs into P of Bs. Now all these elements are nothing but the row elements of your rows of the joint probability matrix. Hence, we can write adding the element of joint probability matrix row wise, we are going to get the input probability, that is P of AIs. So we can write summation j is equal to 1 to S P of AI, Bj is nothing but the input probability values P of AI. Hence proved. The last property of the joint probability matrix is the summation of all the elements of joint probability matrix is equal to 1. So how do we prove this? So we know that the input symbol probabilities is given by P of A1 plus P of A2 plus so on up till P of AR. We'll consider this value and we'll try to add the probability value. So this is nothing but P of A1, B1 plus P of A1, B2 plus so on up till P of AR, Bs. So this will be your first element, that is P of A1. Similarly, we'll add the next value, that is P of A2, which is P of A2, B1 plus P of A2, B2 plus so on up till P of A2, Bs. So this will be P of A2. And we'll continue with all the values till P of AR, which is given as P of AR, B1 plus P of AR, B2 plus so on up till P of AR, Bs. So now we know that the left hand side of the equation is equal to 1. So we can write summation I is equal to 1 to r p of ai is equal to 1. So this is nothing but all the summation of input probability. Now what are all these terms? These are the elements of your joint probability matrix. All these elements are the elements of joint probability matrix. Hence we can write double summation I is equal to 1 to r, j varying from 1 to s, summation of all the elements p of ai comma bj will be equal to 1. Hence proved. In a communication system, a transmitter has an input symbols A is equal to A1, A2, A3 and receiver also has three output symbols B is equal to B1, B2, B3. The matrix is given shows the joint probability matrix with some marginal probability. So this is the matrix given. We are asked to find first one missing probabilities in the table. Find P of B3 by A1 and P of A1 by B3. Are the events A1 and B1 statistically independent? If so, why? So from the given joint probability matrix, we can try to solve it as first one P of Bj is equal to 1 for summation j varying from 1 to 3. That is, we can write P of B1 plus P of B2 plus P of B3 equal to 1. We'll just try to substitute here and find what is P of B3 missing. So 1 by 3 plus 14 by 36 plus P of B3 is equal to 1. So if you try to simplify this, we are going to get P of B3, that is missing element in the last row, will be equal to 5 by 18. So one missing term is over. Next, from the first property of joint probability matrix, that is addition of column is going to give you the output probability. So we can write P of B1 equal to P of A1 comma B1 plus P of A2 comma B1 plus P of A3 comma B1. So we'll just try to substitute. This is 1 by 3. P of A1 comma B1 is 1 by 12 plus 5 by 36 plus P of A3 comma B1. So we can get the missing term in the first row. So which will be equal to, we'll just try to simplify this and we are going to get P of A3 comma B1 will be equal to 1 by 9. So we have got the next missing term. Similarly, P of B2 will be equal to P of A1 comma B2 plus P of A2 comma B2 plus P of A3 comma B2. B2 is 14 by 36 equal to P of A1 comma B2 plus 1 by 9 plus 1 by 6. So we are going to get P of A1 comma B2 which will be equal to 1 by 9. So we have got the next missing term in the given problem. P of B3 will be equal to P of A1 comma B3 plus P of A2 comma B3 plus P of A3 comma B3. So after substitution, what we are going to get is 5 by 18 is equal to 5 by 36 plus 5 by 36 plus P of A3 comma B3. So we are going to get P of A3 comma B3 will be equal to 0. Now we'll just try to fill the missing term for your given matrix. So what are the missing terms is, so we'll just try to fill the missing terms. So first value is 1 by 12, then 5 by 36, then this is missing, we'll write the value there, 1 by 9, 1 by 6, then we have 5 by 36, 5 by 36, here one term is missing, here we got it as 1 by 3, this is 14 by 36 and this is missing. So we'll just try to fill the missing terms which we have solved now. So this term after substitution we got it as 5 by 18. Okay, that is P of B3. Next for P of A3 comma B1, here A3 comma B1 we got it as 1 by 9. Next we got P of A1 comma B2, this value after solving we got it as 1 by 9 and this value after solving we got it as 0. So first part of the question is over. That is finding the missing term. To solve the second part, that is finding the P of B3 by A1 and A1 by B3, we know that P of Bj by AI into P of AI is nothing but P of AI comma Bj. Now we are asked to find P of B3 by A1. So we can write P of A1 comma B3 is equal to P of B3 by A1 into P of A1. So now by using the second property of your joint probability matrix, that is adding the element row wise, we are going to get the input value. So P of A1 is nothing but P of A1 comma B1 plus P of A1 comma B2 plus P of A1 comma B3. We'll try to add the values. So we are going to get 1 by 12 plus 1 by 9 plus 5 by 36, so which comes to around 1 by 3. Therefore, we can write P of B3 by A1 will be equal to P of A1 comma B3 divided by P of A1. P of A1 comma B3 is nothing but first value in your joint probability matrix, 1 by 3. So we are going to get it as 5 by 12. Similarly, we can write P of A1 by B3 is equal to P of A1 comma B3 divided by P of B3. So after substitution we'll get this value as 5 by 36 divided by P of B3, which is 5 by 18. So we are going to get it as half. So this is how we are going to solve the second part of the question. Third question, for A1 and B1 to be statistically independent, we must have the condition which is given by P of A1 intersection B1 should be equal to P of A1 comma B1 should be equal to P of A1 into P of B1. So we'll just try to check this condition now. So P of A1 into P of B1 is nothing but 1 by 3 into 1 by 3, which is 1 by 9. But the element P of A1 comma B1 in the joint probability matrix is 1 by 12. Therefore, P of A1 comma B1 is not equal to your P of A1 into P of B1. So what we can write is A1 and B1 are not statistically independent. It is because we are going to receive B1 by transmitting A1 with some probability of error, and hence B1 is dependent on A1. So it is statistically dependent on the values.